Hi, this is Aeson Knight. And with me
Hello.
tonight is Techie Joe. And yes, I'm having mind drip, okay? Um, but we're there.
Yes. Let me
Yeah,
get these Facebooks removed and re-added.
lovely. Thank you. I don't
Yeah.
know what Facebook's problem is here.
You know,
Like, they just have a
I
problem.
yeah, they really hate the reschedule.
Hmm.
Like that seems to be their whole malfunction.
Right. It has been a day. It has been a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of things got done. Not all the things that should have.
Well, and that's kind of our current life and plan right now.
Basically, my dumb of the day. Y'all will appreciate. I saved it up for the show. I didn't post to Facebook because I was like, no, 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 no. Y'all love this. So my dumb of the day. I take a lunch break basically and try to, in addition to lunch, knock out like a household thing.
Hmm.
Um, there we go. We're starting to get to the Facebook keys. I think we're on all of them. Yes. So if you're just joining us from Facebook, I'm at the perfect point in the story. So my dumb of the day. I take a lunch break and I try to get like a household thing done.
Right.
And today I decided that what I was going to do was clean our toaster because it was a little bit of and I budgeted like 30 minutes for this, thinking we'll be
Hmm. Right.
And I started with taking the racks out and I spray them with Easy Off and they're sitting in the sink. And I know that's all kinds of bad, but like that's what I did.
Right.
And because typically Easy Off is for the oven and it's useful that way to let
Right.
the fumes dissipate inside the oven. But
Hmm.
anyhow, but in moving the toaster oven so I could get to it better,
Hmm.
to clean it, I like had a tangle of cords, so I unplugged our kitchen her. And if you don't know what I mean an Amazon product that is hockey puck size that you talk to that
Right.
has a name that if we say it, we'll start responding. So all
Right.
right, you get it. So, but before I did that, I set the timer for the easy off.
Right.
And so this was going to be my gauge is like, because it takes 20 minutes, I went with the cold oven directions because I figured, close enough. And so I moved it. In the process, I unplugged it and forgot about doing that and didn't plug her back in. So I'm over there and I'm just scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing. Because this is not going well.
Right.
And was not paying any attention to time. So my budgeted 30 minutes
Hmm.
before I made lunch.
Right.
This was my second worst because I was going to end up having to use the toaster oven for our
Right.
planned lunch. So I wanted to do this while it was cold. Y'all are following along, I know. So yeah, my budgeted 30 minutes turned into 2 hours, and we had to go out for lunch.
Right. And that happens. Like,
It does.
this is no big thing.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like, and I wish I like the rest of the story were, but the toaster oven is spotless. That's not the rest of the story.
It does not look like the same toaster oven, though.
Oh, it's better. It's better.
Yeah.
It's way better.
Right.
Um, but is it like clean? No, it did not come clean.
Right.
It thought about cleanliness.
Hmm.
Sort of like when a child plays in the mud and you ask them to wash their hands before dinner, and then it's like the only clean part is their literal palm, and you're like, how?
Right.
How? How do you? that's sort of how this came clean.
Right.
Like, just the parts where the food kept.
Well, they came clean. Everything else came
Oh, the
clean.
easy off worked great. Like, but I didn't want to put that in it because you're not supposed to, apparently.
Yeah, but I'll have when I get time, I'll do some baking soda paste, and we'll take care of the few little things that are left.
Nah, I think we're just at the stage of let's just call this like the next time I look at it and go ew, we're getting the French door toaster oven air fryer thingamabob.
That's fine, as long as it's more powerful.
Probably yes.
All right.
Like it'll do more things for us and put out less heat, so it'll be great.
That works.
Hey Brenda.
Hi Brenda. How are you?
Oh yes. All right. So, what was your fun adventure today?
Oh, today has been a day. Okay, first of all, we start out with, me apparently forgetting what hunger feels like. I know, first word problem, right? So I'll rock my happy little ass out of bed at 7 o'clock this morning, feeling all great and grand, take my pills, do my stuff, do my journaling, do a load of laundry, go ahead and sweep the linoleum I didn't get to last night, sit down and do readings, do my appointment, blah, blah, blah. And about noon, I felt like someone unplugged the battery of Aeson. I'm like, no.
Like there were opportunities, may I point out, for me not to go on a 2-hour tour of Easy Off Fumes.
Yes.
There was an option.
Yes, there was an option. There was a detour ahead of you. Me, I am like, I don't understand what's wrong. Yes, it's Thursday. It's shot day. We get this. We always have weird experiences during shot day because the body in itself has a lot of like adjustments to like, I don't know, the do not eat the world hormone running out.
Well, because I'm standing there getting ready to do all this, and I look at you and say, well, do you want me to? Because you're like, I'm beat. I'm going to take a nap, And I was like, do you want me to go ahead and make lunch before you lay down? Because I'm envisioning it in my head, like like fine, but okay, cool. We'll just go ahead and do that, and I'll move it to Wednesday, and it'll be fine. I'll clean the toaster oven tomorrow.
Right.
And you're like, you're hungry already?
Yeah.
And I'm like, kind of. This was at 12:30.
Right.
An actual hour normal people eat lunch at. Right. Like my day was going swimmingly. It really was. Like things were booking. It was doing great.
Right.
That's the last time I could have said that today. And you just stood there indignant.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe, like, it was just like, ew. You're hungry? Like,
yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Like, it's only noon.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry. I was going to do this. Like, I'm doing this so I can then fix lunch in it. It's going to be a little bit, but, because again, I budgeted 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And the little wrappy things we were going to do take like, I don't know, 5-6 minutes of prep and then like 10 minutes in.
Right.
So then I get a technical 15 minutes to eat and I'm back in my office.
Right.
This was a lunch hour.
Yeah.
This was my plan. This was the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a dream. Yeah, slides in like Tom Cruise.
Make sure your bristles are up on your broom. Grab your coffee and have a seat, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
But no, so he's like, it'll only take a few minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'll grab a protein bar because I guess I need to eat something. But I'm about ready to die.
Like, basically he's over there like, well, since I'm getting ready to be cremated, let me just have a few calories.
Yeah.
Like a last meal. Like,
yeah.
Was where he was at. And yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just stands there mesmerized
Yeah.
as he eats this little granola bar and is like, I was hungry.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What's my sugar at?
Yeah. Just like I forgot what hunger was.
Yeah. These are the things that occur in Aeson's brain. He knows what caffeine low is. He knows what nicotine low is. He had to figure out that, oh, when it feels like you're going to go to sleep for no fucking reason, you just need to go eat something.
Well, yeah, that's basically the diet. Don't you remember from Devil Wears Prada? Except instead of granola bar, it was like you eat a cube of cheese.
There was no cubes of
like
cheese
every...
at the house.
Really? Really? We're gonna go with the form of the cheese is the problem? Like that's what you're gonna go with? Like
no,
that's not
the problem. The problem is I can't follow that diet. But anyhow.
But no, the whole thing was, every time you're about ready to pass out, you eat a cube of cheese. And it was like, yeah, that's basically where you were.
Basically. But we have to back this up because there was a problem that occurred yesterday that interrupted the stream of Aeson life majorly. That has now caused a problem today in Aeson life.
Okay. Good Lord. Yeah, it's all in the wording. It's all in the wording.
Okay. What occurred yesterday? I know what you said. Can you see? First of all, I done the damn it, Joe.
I don't know what I do. Oh, yes. There has been a NutriBullet malfunction. We may have to start a prayer chain for his gaskets to get here faster. No, I did not. He blamed me for it, yelled across the house at me to blame me for it, made me come here. Like I'm, Vlad, and he's gonna shove my nose in it. And is like, where did you put it? And I'm like, where did I put what? He said, the seal. What seal? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, I know it had to be you.
I know that would take apart a blender.
So this is when he tells me it's the seal that where the cup and the NutriBullet base meet has gone rogue. It is missing. It is not there. His NutriBullet is shooting out like a Nutri shotgun, with the crushy icy smoothie milkshake breakfast all over the kitchen. Like he took out the coffee pot, he took out
yeah. Even I had to wipe down the side of the refrigerator.
Yes, you're supposed to take them out to clean them. The things I've had to explain this, like you should have been there the first time he watched me pull the seal from a thermal mug.
My Yeti hasn't been the
destroyed it. Then he found out his seal was supposed to be white, not black. He quickly came home to tell the others. Yeah, gaskets have to come out when you wash them. Thank God. Do you know how often I get made to feel like I'm the fucking OCD, anal retentive, crazy one in this relationship? Just because I do the things? I do the things.
And I normally don't mind you doing the things. But when the things do not return back, there's a problem.
Yeah, and he also gets real upset if I accidentally put the gasket for the coffee mugs in upside down.
Yes.
What? It's hard. It's not easy. They need to make them two-sided. As in, like, clearly defined Like the red part goes to the top and the blue part goes towards the bottom. I don't know, something. Give me something. Something to tell me this way up.
Mm-hmm.
Give me something.
Because it's really annoying when you're driving down the road and the lid to your Yeti that has steaming, hot, delicious, warm coffee in it pops off. Yeah, so apparently Aeson's low fuel light because he didn't get his morning shake, because he can't do his morning shake because someone took the gasket, and I don't know, sent it in with the other missing socks or something.
Yes. Well, see, here's what I'm thinking. Yeah, House Gremlin moved them, something. But apparently this is common enough of a problem because if you go on to Amazon, oh my God, the number of gaskets you can order.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a thing. This is a thing. Like they fail, they die, they go missing, they whatever. They eat themselves out of the universe.
Right.
And you buy more, and they're cheap, and it just takes a while for them to get here.
Yes.
Because he was all optimistic that he would have it by Thursday. And
Yes.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. So we may have to pull out the mason jar.
Oh, hi, and welcome to White Trash Television, where we made our own nature blender today.
Right.
Oh, blame Dad. Dad ran out of lighters to take. That's what it is.
That's bullshit. I have like 6 in my purse he can go and try to grab. But anyhow.
Or is he just annoyed he's been cleaned?
That's a possibility. And that his wife cleaned him.
And turned him sideways.
Yes.
Like, she literally faced him into the corner.
Yeah. I had to move him.
No, he's still faced in the corner. He's not facing out right. Like, this is your problem.
Probably. Like, I need to tell her, like, she knows to leave the altar alone. Maybe she needs to be told to leave Dad alone. I mean, she annoyed the man for 40-some years. Anyhow.
Oh. Anywho. Yeah. I'm out for you.
Yeah.
Well, she ain't happy with him, okay? His first problem being he's dead. She's real pissed about that.
Yeah. She's very upset that he decided to exit before her.
Yes. Still pissed. Still pissed.
Yes.
She's very salty.
I'm surprised she didn't maybe shake him up just for shits and giggles.
Well, like, here's the problem, though. There was this moment, like, she started to, like, disassemble everything.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, no. Do not pick up that table.
Yeah.
And she got this look like, what is your problem? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. That tabletop part comes off. This was my yard sale find of a century, by the way.
Yes.
Was that little table his dad sits on.
Uh-huh.
That top comes off.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't look it, but it is solid, like, 1.5-inch marble.
Mm-hmm.
You will not be ready for it. No one ever is. You're gonna drop it. Please don't pick it up and try to take it apart. Or try to pick it up because it will come apart. Shannon says, oh my God, I have my dad's ashes in the closet. My kids are getting a kick out of telling people I keep Grandpa locked in the closet. I'm surprised your kids aren't running around telling everyone that you're just waiting for your for their grandpa to come out of the closet. Or that he's really into fashion.
Anyhow. So
like, share, and subscribe.
That was mistake number one. I've gotten into the habit. You throw the laundry in, you pour the coffee, you make the shake, you drink them both, you swallow your pills, blah, blah, blah. Morning routine accomplishment. That I forgot there was no shake. There was just extra coffee on ice and a cup.
I know. It's horrible, isn't it? How
Yeah.
I wake up and spoil you. And actually make coffee completely for you.
Uh-huh. You know I had the cold cup of coffee that was in the coffee pot before you got up, right?
Hey, that's your own choices. You don't bitch about me at pizza. I don't bitch at you about drinking cold coffee.
Thank you.
Except it's a thing that occurs.
Yes. Caffeine is caffeine in multiple directions. Anyhow, so there was that, and then we get everything used to doing it.
Brenda says a friend used to yell at her husband's ashes, and if really mad about something caused by something he had done, she'd shake his earth.
I plead the 5th, the 6th, and the 12th on that one.
I'm going to get one of those paint can shakers for him.
Yes.
I'm putting him in a paint can, by the way.
That works. Just as long as it's OPI.
No. No. I'm not even going to get a real can. I'm just going to get the paint can candy.
Uh-huh.
Dump the candy out and just put you in there, bag and all.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll put some crystals.
That works. Pack cigarettes and lighter, please.
I'm not putting a lighter in there.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Anyhow.
I mean, depends upon how mad I am. I may put a butane lighter in there. Just see what happens.
Nothing, apparently.
Shake, 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 shake. Whoosh.
So, anyhow, going through my day, doing my readings. Gonna do a reading. Client cancels the fucking reading just as I'm getting ready to hit send. If you're that client, come back. I've got your fucking answer waiting on you. Anyhow. One of my
He's
esteemed
real mad.
Yeah.
No, genetic Joe, LOL. What? I'm confused, Brenda.
About OPI, she's saying no, go generic, Joe.
Oh, go generic. Go generic. That's what I'm saying. Well, there's a delay in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, generic. You're getting paint can candy.
Yeah, I'm rocking myself out. In my day, one of my esteemed colleagues messages me. I've been trying to get a hold of this company owner for a bit, and she's like, "Yeah, he rang me up. He'll be calling you in 30 minutes." Okay, let's pull this out of my elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Had a lovely conversation with the gentleman in New Zealand. There might be some new developments that the Patreons will hear about soon.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's basically in the bag. It's just people.
Yep. We will see. So there's that. What else? There's something else that happened today, and I'm like, damn it, Janet. Oh, we finally got the mop saw one that like I can do the house in 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I sent him to get me the spray mops. What the reusable, refillable, yada yada yada. He gets me one for the wood floors.
Pause. He said, buy the one with the really big head on it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did because I'm standing in Walmart. They have like 3 different kinds of spray wet mops.
Right.
Like as in Swiffer style is what we're just going to call them because they were first to the party.
Right.
Not a fan of the Swiffer ones. I've had them. They kind of suck. Right. Swiffer, get on that. So anyway, I was never buying him a Swiffer. But no, there was like 2 other ones, and I got the one with the ginormously wide head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, turns out our Walmart had run out of the one he wanted. And so while there was space on the shelf there, it was generic space on the shelf, and I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I goofed. He wanted the was it Liebman spray mop.
Yeah.
I got him the
Actually, I want
bottom.
the red oak one, but we haven't been able to find that sucker here.
Oh yeah, good luck. Like, but he got the bottom one.
Yeah.
And he was all mad because they don't make fluid for it. I can't use it on the linoleum.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes out like the great conqueror to Big Lots and finds his Liebman mop. And he's so thrilled. He comes home. He's so excited. He's so excited. He bought extra parts for it. Excited.
Well, and that's the whole point, is to buy extra parts so that I can like keep it in the rotation of the one laundry a day.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because it's got the washable.
Right.
Or the little plug. Yeah, anyway, y'all know.
Anyway.
So yeah, he comes home. He's got all the extra parts. He's so excited. And this is ownership day 2. Technically more like hour 26.
Yes.
It snapped apart.
It unbuckled the bottle and it went all over the floor. And I'm like, damn it, Janet.
Like, and here I am. I'm thinking, because I heard it. And I'm just sitting in the living room going, what did he break while cleaning? What did he break while cleaning? Like, what the hell has he done now? And he comes like stomping through the house with the mop handle in one hand, the bottle in the other hand, and goes, it broke.
Yeah. And then I go and clean up the cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to make coffee. And as he's going to make coffee, he realizes we're out of half and half.
Yeah.
Why we are out of half and half is beyond me.
I had everything ready to do my cup of coffee. I had a cup. I had made coffee. I had syrup. And I opened the fridge, and there was no.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, fine.
Yep. So, that was a quick trip to Kroger's out for me. No big deal. But no, it's been an interesting day. Do we want to just go ahead and mention that Mercury is going into retrograde in August? Or have y'all guys already figured that out yet?
Yeah, I don't think it takes a crystal ball to figure out Mercury's going into retrograde, huh?
So, yeah, the psychic life has been fun. So, what stories do you have for us today?
All right. So, in our fun, not so fun, don't try this at home news, TikToker arrested after driving free candy van to get police attention. So, a Canadian TikToker has been arrested for allegedly committing false crimes. This is in quotes in the story, in order to grow his follower count. TikTokers are going to great extremes to boost their popularity by walking into strangers' houses and making threatening remarks to random people, all in the name of content. However, these controversial videos have a tendency to land viral creators in hot water, and that's exactly what happened to Gatineau, Quebec man Anthony Gagny after he drove around in a van giving out free candy. According to police, Gagny Power was arrested. That's his TikTok name, or was arrested after police stumbled across his TikTok account after receiving a tip and found several videos trying to get the attention of cops. Oh, in a press release, Gatineau police explained how their investigation began when they received a complaint about Gagny driving a van with the words free candy painted on it to attract children. Following this complaint, the SPVG had to open an investigation during which the police identified several videos featuring Anthony Gagne, who simulated crimes in order to have the visit of various police services, including the FBI, they said. In another of his videos, Gagne put on a black balaclava and carried a hammer toward a bank at nighttime, pretending to rob it. Despite the police meeting with Gagne, he continued to make videos, and the authorities found he had been doing so since 2021, amassing over 500,000 followers on TikTok. On July 5th, the cops searched his home, discovering numerous electronic items in addition to a gas mask, a balaclava, fake blood, and a vehicle rental contract. He was charged with attempted public mischief. As part of his release, he is prohibited from uploading content to social media, including YouTube. His TikTok account, meanwhile, has been purged. Gestures or words spoken on social networks are not without consequence. Whether the police are incited virtually or in person to launch an investigation under a false pretext is a crime. The police warned others not to follow in Gagne's footsteps. What the hell? Like, part of me wants to laugh my ass off and go, this story is hilarious. Part of me goes, like, I get wanting to create content that is out there and unusual, to get likes and views, go viral, have a bunch of followers. I get it. I'm just having a moment of, like, what?
Like,
the hell?
See, because I see this as the children's birthday problem.
Okay.
And your child's first birthday, you do mega. Like, you get a bouncy house, you invite all your friends over, it's this big gala event. Well, next year, you got to keep doing it bigger and bigger and bigger. By the time they're 18, you're renting out a hotel in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Or a villa. A whole villa.
Right. So,
chartered a boat. Forget that. You rented an island, chartered a boat, like a massive ship, for everyone to take a cruise for 3 weeks to get to the private island for 3 more weeks, to then do a 3-week cruise. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And this dude is, like, doing stupid. Because, what's he going to do next? Where's he going to go to next? And then the resource waste.
Well, yeah, and that one I think we all agree on, and it's like, we're there. Yeah. Like, why this is wrong. I'm just sitting here going, of all the things you could choose to do,
right,
to get attention online,
mm-hmm.
why do you literally go baiting police officers? Because that's, effectively what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're baiting law enforcement, going, please come visit me and knock on my door and try to arrest me for the crap I'm doing.
Right.
Like,
and where and why and how and with whom and why. Just the why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I want to go ahead and share real quick. Just so we understand. When we say a free candy ban.
Right.
Like, this is absolutely the definition of those words. So yeah, you can see it here about the middle of the screen. Like, this is the cover of his TikTok video of trying to get the police at my door, and literally he is driving a U-Haul van, which he has taped over the AUL of U-Haul with U-Ho, and a giant sign on the side of free candy in spray paint.
Yeah.
And is literally driving around throwing candy at people.
Right.
Like, it's a little weird.
It's a lot weird. Let's not go little. Let's go lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's where this story's at.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, like again, I kind of get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of get it. On a very thin sliver of it being like you're trying to get viral on social media, and I like again, I kind of get it.
Well, and it's like,
And it is,
we're talking about these people pretending to be AIs. No.
Oh, but no, this is, yeah, don't do that. Don't bait the police.
Mm-hmm.
They will find something to charge you with.
Yes.
Because this feels like they dug.
Oh, I think that I don't think they had to dig too far. I mean, stupid is a crime somewhere.
Well, but again, it's one of those charges you don't see thrown around a lot. False crimes.
Right.
Like that's not a normal one. Like drunk and disorderly. We know that one. They don't do that. You know, there's lots of things that we know commonly as crimes. He didn't commit any of those.
Right.
He got arrested and a really harsh sentence. I mean, a good sentence comparative to the situation he's creating. And comparative to, the fact that I'm sure it could have been worse. But fundamentally had a judge that was very much on the side of, I just want this to stop.
Yeah.
Like you're not coming back here. Or if you do come back here, it's because you've totally screwed up.
Right.
And continue to do the thing.
Right.
So yeah. Oh goodness. It's crazy.
It's more than crazy. It's insane.
Yeah, it's not good life choices. Kids, don't try this. Don't
do not do this. Swatting is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, swatting's a bad thing, but it's not even that.
Well, I get that, but this is like you swat yourself.
Sort of, basically, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, nothing. It's not like he legit straight up swatted himself.
Right.
Like he didn't call in like an armed gunman threat.
Right.
Like he didn't do the thing.
Right.
That equates swatting.
Right.
But yeah, effectively, he walked himself into this.
Right.
In a way in which it's like, no, seriously, you don't want to do that. We don't do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's like seeing the cop and like going from doing the speed limit to speeding.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why would you do it? Why would you do it? Why would you do it?
Yeah.
But,
insane.
Here we are.
So let's take a little step back in history, shall we?
Oh, goodness. A little?
Yeah, it's just a few centuries.
Yeah, a 16th century book of astrological ideas tried to predict the future using illustrated wheel charts. Oh, more than 2,000 years ago in Hellenistic Greece, the astrolabe was invented as a kind of analog calculator to decode a range of astronomical observations, survey an area, or reckon latitude and time. Often made from metal, the tool was modified and further developed in the Islamic world, then later in Western Europe throughout the next several centuries. By the medieval period, it had been adopted by astrologers and some physicians, the latter for whom religious belief and medicine were closely intertwined, to determine the course of the planets and their influences. And in the 16th century, the device found its way to scholar Leonard Thurnister.
Thurnister.
Yeah. Thernicer was fascinated by the workings of the universe, and his wide-ranging knowledge landed him a position as an intellectual and miracle doctor at a noble court in Brandenburg, Germany. Denounced as a serious scientist by some of his peers due to his interest in alchemy and astrology, he nevertheless published his findings in a phenomenal tome known as the Archidoxa? Archidoxa?
Archidoxa. There you go.
In 1569, containing a collection of astrological predictions and ideas. 6 years later, he released an addition to the volume called the Astrolabium, which used vovelas or wheel charts to provide individual horoscopes. Richly illustrated with hand-colored plates engraved by an artist named Peter Hill, each page contains a different constellation and man's circle of life.
Right.
The baubles or volvels, which could be
Bubbles.
layered on top of each page and spun in relation to one another, include the locations of fixed stars and tree of life. Bound in ornate leather, the book would have functioned as a kind of medieval Ouija board in theory, enabling the user to foresee their fate or predict that. Someone doesn't know what a Ouija board is.
Well, this predates the Ouija board.
Well, it predates the Ouija board, but more importantly, someone doesn't know what the hell a Ouija board does.
Oh, goodness.
Well, no, seriously. Like, the book would have functioned as a kind of medieval Ouija board in theory, enabling the user to foresee their fate or predict natural disasters.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really what a Ouija board does.
No.
I mean, it's not like you couldn't potentially find out that information through a Ouija board, but that's not really its thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not the, like, that's like, of the,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Wow. Oh, those are very pretty.
Yeah, and they're in the Library of Congress finally. Like, the Library of Congress finally took them.
Aww. Yeah,
and they're starting to scan them in.
Mm-hmm. Well, and more importantly, they've mounted them on plexiglass.
Right.
So you can cut like the exploded version, so you can see how it all stacks together and how it
right. Right.
So yeah, they're very gorgeous. Like, I do feel like showing.
Yes.
So yes, so we'll add this to the stream.
See, this is what 16th century astrology charts looked like.
Mm-hmm. Like, it is. It's very pretty. So all of these would have been, I'm assuming, part of the book that you would have then cut out and created individual pieces.
Right.
To stack together to use in conjunction to basically make a paper.
Right.
Yeah. That is quite nifty.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, that makes it a project book from the 16th century.
Yes. For you. Can you imagine, though, having to go through and do that without, like, a cricket?
Can you imagine having to go through and do that? And if you fuck it up, you have nothing.
Right.
Out of your big, giant, leather-bound volume of the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that would traumatize me. I'd be scared to death to cut it apart.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if I screw this up. Oh, this is going to end badly. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Right.
So, yeah. But, yeah, all of that, stacked together is really, really nifty.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And they're still going through and having to decode because a lot of his notes were coded. Gee, where have we heard that from? Some of these hieroglyphs, like
Yeah.
the information.
Like it's there, it just doesn't make sense to anyone.
No.
Yes.
I think I was watching earlier about Leonardo da Vinci doing the same thing.
Ah.
So I'm glad that's being added to the Library of Congress. Finally, some of our texts are being preserved. However, I'm a little worrisome, and I don't know if you'll be able to read this or not.
Well, I made it through this past article.
Well, I'm looking at the source.
Oh, interesting. I cannot.
Okay.
I've hit my limit.
Okay. Who remembers the movie Big? I know it's a classic. It's a sucky movie. Vlad, stop scratching.
It's not that bad. It's got some very important life lessons there.
Okay, you remember the little
One, be
slip of
careful
paper
what you ask for.
Right, the little slip of paper that spit out.
Yes.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the movie. Well, they've now started using AI to conduct astrology, and that's basically what it does. You select the question, you enter its your name, your date of birth, the standard astrology information, and it spits it out.
Mm-mm. Okay, so it is a, what was that? Zoltron?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the astrology version
Uh-huh.
of Zoltron.
Yeah. Pre-selected questions.
Where's the fun in that?
Right.
Like, I'll take a number 3, please.
Well, it's like the questions are: should I be spending my time? How should I be spending my time? Will I ever be rich? Should I start my own business? Should I save money, or is the world just gonna burn before I retire? Why do I feel unmotivated at work? Does my success depend on being a workaholic? How do I get better at my job? How do I stop feeling burnt out at work?
I mean, that's kind of a rich and varied selection of questions, but still, it does feel a little bit like,
Right.
It feels like astrology
Mm-hmm.
according to like a McDonald's kiosk.
Right.
It's kind of funny.
I like Sharon Miller's quote. She's the astrologer for the New York Times for a couple of decades now. She said, and her quote, it was more skeptic. And AI is exciting for things like spitting atoms, she said, adding that she would not trust such technology in a practice that often deals with human emotions. Machines make mistakes, Miss Miller said, and the person who gets the answer may walk around with the wrong answer in their head forever.
See, this is where I go back and forth on this, is because like we've sat here and debated out the problems of
Mm-hmm.
like, and don't get me wrong, I have major issues with the
Right.
idea of using AI to, for instance,
Right.
so to speak, replace you
Right.
as an advisor.
Right.
I have issues with that. And it honestly has less to do with the reading
Mm-hmm.
than all of the other parts.
Right.
Like everyone gets really focused on the reading,
Right.
as being like what the thing has to do, and it's
Right.
like, oh no, see, there is some aftercare that is involved.
Right.
Is like, it's not all happy fuzzy bunny readings.
No.
Like, is my husband cheating on me? No, he's really spending all of his time to hand carve a ring for you. That's not the, you know what I mean? Like, that's not the answer
Right.
most of the time.
Right, but see, astrology in itself is a science, but there's a level of interpretation. Here's an example. My Mars is at like 17 degrees, and your Venus is like across, it's in conjunction with each other, but it's like 16, 17 degrees. So if you look at it from strictly a not, if if it's just looking at base astrology information and doing its calculations, um, it's going to bring up a lot more than looking at it in person and going, well, that's at 17 degrees, that's at 14 degrees. Put those 2 degrees together, you have a 3 degree difference. So is that really a conjunction, or is that more so a oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? If I'm not conjunct, or is it really a squaring?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because that would change,
Mm-hmm.
at least the perception. Well, and then also you have things like sorry, my first glance when you did our compatibility chart
Right. Which I did
was
before we even started dating, because I wanted to know
right,
exactly what I was getting into.
right. Yeah, it didn't support your case for us dating.
No.
Just a side note. Uh, no, literally. Because basically it went through and was like, y'all are gonna fight a lot.
Yeah.
Like you are
Stay away from
not gonna
taxes.
understand each other. You are not gonna be able to communicate with each other. Your communication styles are gonna hurt each other. Like
Mm-hmm.
it goes through. It is like yeah, and I like. And I called him out on this. I'm like, this was supposed to support your case.
No.
Like, what the hell? Like, this said run, run, run away.
Uh-huh.
Run. Well, it did, basically.
Hey, no. I'm just looking for it because I know I have it stored.
Oh, goodness.
But anyhow, like there is a lot of interpretation to the chart. You need an astrologer to interpret the chart and read the chart. Do we use programs to do that? Yes. Do the programs put together the information for us? Yes. Is it going to be really good? No. You got to have the human there to look and debate the issue.
Well, but then there's all, yeah, to literally the debate part, the part, well, and it's not even really debating exactly, it's explaining it with nuance.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding where someone's at.
Right.
Like, are they dead set? Like, I'm gonna do this because
Right.
that kind of tweaks the advice.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm not saying it totally changes the advice. I'm saying it tweaks it. It
Right.
tweaks it.
Right.
Into like, okay, like if you're bound and determined to date this one,
Mm-hmm.
the following is how you're gonna make that work.
Right.
I'm gonna start by telling you this does not, show up well.
Right.
It's not. No, this is not. Not the best life choices you're gonna make.
Well, it's gone well so far.
Like, no, well, and I'm not saying it's like, oh my god, this is the worst ever. We should never do that. I'm just saying,
Right.
like, if you're sitting there looking at it, it is easy to sit there and your first thought be like, oh my god, this is horrible. But
Yeah.
the next thought is it workable?
Right.
Like, if you both work from a point of understanding, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, communication is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Going to be a problem. Um, then yeah, you can make that work.
Yeah.
Like you can do things, it'll work.
Yes.
But if you're starting from a place, um, I can't find it either. I'm like, I want to read this.
And I'm not on the right computer. Trying to think where I would have stored it.
Well, I'm just going. Oh. Wow. Huh. Okay, that's annoying. Oh, that's because I can't spell. What the poop places? No, it's not coming up for me either. Oh well, I guess we're not finding that. Not tonight. Sorry, I used to be able to just pop it up in my email and life was good. But
Is that where it's at? Probably.
like you emailed it to me.
Okay, that's a good start. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm just telling you. See, this is how great our communication goes. We sound like we're going to divorce at any moment.
Yeah.
Um, Joe wants to reread it looking for loopholes. No, that's his job. That's how I got into this mess. I'm teasing. Like you read it and then you reread it and you found the loopholes and went, wow.
Well, I didn't find loopholes. I found ways that we could combat them.
Yes.
That would have been in sent mail to you.
Yeah, don't give my private email.
Oh, please, everyone has your private email.
No.
Yes. It isn't the other one.
The one you had me get.
Right.
True. Oh goodness. Oh, this
Oh,
is
God.
I mean, it's not like you don't have a store. You could just go rerun it. You could have already rerun
Oh, that's the whole compatibility thing. Okay. That's when the answer was clear. That's when I gave you a book assignment. That's when I tried to get you a job.
I'm afraid of which job that was because you've actually tried to get me a few.
Platinum Professionals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Newsletter apparently I sent you back in 2017. God.
It was at the very beginning. Just go to the dawn of time.
Well, I've gone to the dawn of time of 56 emails.
Of 56 emails. I think someone may have overcleaned their mail.
Well, I ran out of space, remember?
I know, right? I'm just saying. I think someone overcleaned. Um. Oh, I don't. Oh wait. Oh, because I archived.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
And, oh, that might have been why I didn't find it. I went with the first email that came up, and that is not.
Let's go to all mail.
Okay. What? Oh.
Yeah, only 31,000.
Only 30. Good Lord, what are you doing? What the hell? I know you sent that to me.
Mm-hmm.
It literally was the first thing.
I know. The first thing I have is me getting you a job with the VP of Platinum Professionals.
I'm store law from August of 2017.
Yeah.
So like we're well past. Like we've met.
Yeah.
We've met, we've argued, we've broken up, we've gotten back together,
Uh-huh.
and now you need advertising.
Right.
Like that's how far down
The rabbit
funny
hole it
trail.
goes.
Oh, funny. Okay, so maybe I'm just doing this wrong. Let me just put your name. See if you did one of those moments where you just sent it from an account. Well, that got worse. I just deleted all the wrong things. There we go. Search. Ah. Let's just do that. Oh, this is gonna be the worst daddy hour we've ever.
Well, no, we've done worse. Like, we've not been here. But no, this is what happens when you have a relationship for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
And unlimited storage, even worse. And see, I could run it if I was on my other computer. Ooh. Is it here? No, it isn't. That's the property damage.
All right, I got nothing, guys. We're trying.
We're trying. If we find it, we'll talk about it later. But no, it wasn't really that bad. I've seen worse. That made very hold it. View online. Let's go to the archive of archive.
Archive. Oh, goodness.
Anyhow.
Oh, we're gonna go ahead and do it. We're not even gonna try at this point to pretend.
Do
like
what?
I said we're not even gonna pretend like we're moving forward. We're just gonna find it.
Okay, fine.
No, actually, I'm booting the astrology chart machine. Oh no.
What's it doing?
I'm not sure. Well, it's currently angry.
Well, it always is.
Oh, that's I haven't turned it on. Like I did proof of concept. It worked, and then ran away.
Yeah.
Never to open it again. is basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pictures.
Dun, 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 dun. Have to get an earful of boot up sound. I will never not know when he goes to do
Charts.
yes.
Yes.
It's every time. Every time. All right, walk me through. I'm doing a composite.
You're going to go in and you're going to select new chart.
Oh. All right. Well, that was the wrong direction. Okay. Yeah, charts. Okay.
Okay, you're going to fill in your birth information.
Okay.
Okay, then you're going to, it should have produced a chart for you.
Okay, well, I'll hit done, and I think it does that. Yes. All right, there we go. I've got a chart.
Awesome. Now you're going to go up and you're going to select new chart. I mean, I think it's new chart. It's under that command center.
Okay. So add new natal.
Yep.
Okay.
Fill in my birth information.
You're gonna have to forgive me.
Uh-huh.
What specific time?
I'll send it to you.
I know the day. I just need the hour and minute. Like, oh my god. Okay. Oops. I think that's the wrong place. Okay. And send me the place. Or is that here?
No, that's Montgomery.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I should have known that.
Yes.
Okay, now that I have both charts done.
Okay, you're going to go up and select interpretation compatibility. I love when we do live trainings.
You know? Ain't that a thing? Okay, and it just went back to your chart.
And then select your chart from the side.
Okay.
And run interpretation. English interpretation. Let's go to commercial and I'll get it done. I'll be right there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here from Rowan Temple of Light, and I'm here to tell you about our events this summer. First up is Beltane in the Hills, May 13th, and that is from 1 to 6. We have entertainment, we have a bunch of vendors, we have a fairy photo shoot. It's going to be exciting. You having any questions, reach out to Earth Magic or to myself. After that, we have Central West Virginia Pagan Pride, August 19th. That's at Holly Gray Park from 11 to 5. for the day. And we will have Sarah Masters coming down from Pittsburgh to be our keynote speaker. We have some great classes for that. So if you want to get involved, reach out to RowandTempleOfLight@gmail.com, or just follow us along on Facebook at Rowan Temple of Light, and we look forward to seeing you out in the community. See you there.
Welcome back, Goblins! My name is Jason, and I am the host of the Esoteric Book Club, a podcast that examines titles on the magical, paranormal, the mysterious, and the strange. I release 2 episodes a month, in which I review books on esoteric topics, recap news of the weird, and conduct interviews with authors, practitioners, and experiencers. The Esoteric Book Club can be found on every major podcast service, or can be streamed directly from esotericbookclub.org.
All right, we are back.
He like one step was what I was missing. Like it took him like 5 seconds.
All right. So anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
All right. Well, I'm trying to find the right section. Like I thought it was right here at the beginning, and it was that big long one. But
Read the first section.
all right. So that's my sun in Cancer and your sun in Aries.
Yeah.
All right. So you are Aeson is often brusque and lacking in tact and diplomacy. Techie Joe feels that Aeson should be more considerate of others' feelings. Also, Aeson encourages independent thinking and action and feels very uncomfortable around people that cling too tenaciously. Techie Joe, on the other hand, needs a lot of emotional support and encouragement, and Techie Joe feels that everyone needs mothering. Aeson is likely to periodically trample on Techie Joe's feelings, and Techie Joe can easily fall into the role of being a helping friend to Aeson, who takes Techie Joe's help and assistance for granted.
That's why I'm last on your list. But anyhow,
Aeson's need for independence often conflicts with Techie Joe's needs for warmth and camaraderie. Aeson seems selfish, impersonal, and indifferent to Techie Joe at times. Aeson can learn compassion from Techie Joe, and Techie Joe can learn to be more independent. But it is likely that you will periodically feel frustrated and at odds with each other.
periodically or periodically?
According to you and the belladonna in the backyard, no. It's periodically.
Who needs it in the backyard when you have it dried in the house?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Don't be abusive to belladonna, but anyhow, keep going.
Alrighty. So, yeah, then we come down to my moon in Scorpio versus your moon in Leo. Temperamentally, the two of you are like night and day. Aeson is basically sunny, open, warm, and fun-loving. Only this report could possibly ever use those words to describe you. And not given to a great deal of introspection or serious self-analysis. While Techie Joe is very private, emotionally deep and complex, and rather hard to get to know. Techie Joe is much more suspicious or cautious soul than Aeson is. Behind Techie Joe's reserve lies much sensitivity and intense emotion. Techie Joe distrusts superficial appearances and is always seeking the hidden meanings or deeper motivations in people, dredging up the buried past or looking for the fly in the ointment. Aeson accepts things as they are, or appear to be, much more readily, and may feel that Techie Joe makes unnecessary trouble by probing so deeply all of the time. The truth is that Aeson is very proud and wants to always be thought well of, and would therefore rather not discover anything within that is less than praiseworthy. Also, Techie Joe has a jealous, distrustful side that Aeson, who is basically straightforward and open, doesn't readily understand. Aeson may get exasperated with Techie Joe's lingering suspicions. Techie Joe is drawn inward to the depths, to darkness and mystery, while Aeson is more outward and seeks the light, bright side of life. Aeson, for instance, needs and enjoys people, is much more social, and loves to entertain. Techie Joe would prefer an evening alone or spent in an intimate atmosphere with a few close friends where the interaction is likely to be deeper and more revealing. There really need not be a conflict over these differences in your emotional natures as long as the two of you understand and accept them. There's his loophole. You are both very strong-willed and somewhat inflexible, and you insist on being yourselves despite the differences between you.
Mm-hmm.
That was his. Brenda says, match made in hell.
Yes, at our beach house.
But yes, there we go. So yeah,
Go down to the Venus Mars.
Like, I read through it. Like, and if y'all would like more dramatic readings of compatibility charts, I'm sure we can do that as a service.
Yes. But go down to the Venus Mars conjunction.
Oh, Venus Mars conjunction. Try to find it. Sure it's a Venus Mars conjunction?
Possible. It's the thing talking about money and taxes. That was your stickler point.
Okay.
You want to send that to me?
I mean, I can try.
Okay, you're going to go up and hit PDF.
Yeah.
And yes, we are a match made in hell. Unfortunately, there's restraining orders, so we can't exactly be matched in hell until, Lucifer and Satan both drop their restraining orders against me. Something about taking over, small mutiny, defiance of astral beings. I mean, it's just this little
blah,
thing.
Blah, blah, blah,
blah, blah.
Whatever.
Where's it coming to?
Well, hold on. I need a second. This isn't always the easiest process. Like, especially since I haven't done this in a while.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Drag it and drop it over here. I can open it over here. Yes, I can. And I'll go to Facebook.
All right.
Does that work?
Sure.
I mean, send it in Slack.
No, that works.
Slack it is.
Yeah.
Brenda says, my family has lakefront property there. I'll let you use it.
Lovely.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hold still. Let me check something.
Okay.
Okay, there's that. My moon pisses off your Neptune.
What my Neptune do? Or what did your moon do to it?
Well, my moon spikes your imagination, and you enjoy a colorful, sensitive relationship, sharing inner experiences, artistic and musical interest is likely to be strong, positive parts of your relationship. Yet he complains about my radio in the car, and you may engage in positive artistic and musical or artistical endeavors together.
Mm-hmm. It's not your choice of music.
Uh-huh.
It's that when I get into the car having a nice, quiet, peaceful morning, and I turn the ignition, and I have like AC/DC blaring in my ears at full volume.
That's okay. Pretty soon, you're going to have somebody else blaring in your ears.
Meow.
You know, Alice Cooper, who's coming to Wheeling.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you were a little upset about that for the sheer fact that the tickets are like new.
Unimaginable. All right. So my Mars transits as your Neptune. You enjoy watching movies, reading novels, discussing music and art, and pursuing religion or metaphysical areas together. You work well together in any areas that involves a strong imaginative element. The spiritual bond between you is strong, and you can spend time together. Your ideas and your sense of purpose on life become more redefined and inward.
I mean, it's not all bad.
No,
It was
like,
just that one section was like, oh, God.
yeah.
It's like, are you sure this is a good idea? I'm pretty sure, the magic 8 ball of the universe just said, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Oh, Brenda said too, yes, but I can't. On Alice Cooper.
Right.
Same. Well, he's same.
Yeah.
So excited, then checked ticket prices and went, we're not doing it.
Yeah, like crap. And well, and right now for some reason certain things are just up, and it kind of pisses me off.
Okay.
Car rentals are up, ticket prices are up, escape plans are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, bogging away will be out of the question. Here it is. You tend to become impatient and intolerant and inconsiderate of each other. This relationship will only work if both of you have tough skins and do not get your feelings hurt easily. You are capable of achieving much together, and you can motivate each other, but guard against the tendency to be impatient and try to force things prematurely, avoid also the tendency to be pushy with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my moon squaring your Mars.
Uh-huh. I knew you were pissing off my Mars.
I try.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but then it turns right around with my moon squaring your Jupiter.
Yeah.
Like, and this is how this whole thing goes. It's like back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the compatibility chart of bipolar disorder.
Well, it's a comparison of all the points within the chart, and that's where the chart comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my Venus is 8 degrees 22 in Gemini. Yours, Venus, is 22 degrees and 35 minutes in Taurus. So they're very close to each other. Your Mars in Leo versus my Mars in Libra get very confused at times.
Okay.
Okay. Although that does make an interesting trend, I just wonder. Our Neptunes are in the same sign. Neptunes are both in Sagittarians. And our Plutos are in the same signs. Both in Libra.
Balance.
Yeah, but
so
there's
our
more.
asshole. Oh wait, never mind. I had a bad joke and then my brain processed and I was like, never mind.
No. Let me go to the reserve information. See, and this is why it requires an astrologer. Astrology. Astrology about the months, planets, Pluto.
Just because I have the software doesn't mean. And I've taken class so many times, you'd think.
Right. Let me double check and make sure those calculations are right. Pluto in Libra. Too many documents open. Pluto in Libra. Okay. Libra is a sign of peace and harmony. In early Pluto journeys through Libra, Oregon was a reflection of the Vietnam War finally coming to an end. On the larger scales, two anomalous hostile powers, the U.S. and people of the Republic of China, moved towards peace in the new republic. Pluto in Libra is the indication deep concerns for law and balance and justice. The era of Watergate, yada, yada, yada. Yes, thank you for the history lesson. When Pluto is in Libra, the planet's personal influences promote a deep need to seek harmony and cooperation. On the negative side, unforeseen problems and disturbances in close relationships. And then Neptune and Sag. This is why we can't fight.
Yeah, you
It
said that
was Vietnam.
That was Vietnam.
Yep. The Arcturian sign of Sagittarian, Neptune has an uplifting influence. Astrologers put a great store in the generation born with Neptune in this sign. For Sagittarians, it's a sign of higher learning, philosophy, and freedom. Neptune Sagittarians have a fine intelligence, higher purpose, human nature, and these young people reach for adult powers. For their adult powers, we look forward to the new philosophy sages, humanical leaders. Neptune in this position brings desire for liberty, truth, and a visual outlook. Neptune in Sagittarius will play an important role in improving living conditions in third world countries, discovering new adventures in medicine and science. While Neptune transitions the signs of travel and expectations, more people have access to foreign travels, research, and the World Wide Web. Well, gee, with us having Neptune in that sign, it gives us that ability to be a lot more connective, and we both love to travel.
Also, sometimes when we disagree, I search online and he calls David.
Yeah.
Just saying. So
yeah.
You guys, like, full disclosure there.
Yeah, for disclosure. He can search online. I'll just call my guide and get the answer immediately.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. But no, I always found that one of the more fun compatibility charts.
Yes.
Because usually, like, because I mean, like, we've talked about some that you've run because it's either like, oh yeah, that one's just out of the park, like you found a one.
Right.
Not the one. Notice what I said. A one.
A real special one, but not the one.
Yeah. Well, as in, like, people have found someone that's a really good match.
Right.
Like, their charts align. It's great.
Right.
Or you hit ones that, like, you'll start talking about, like, you ran one and it's like, oh my God, this is a train wreck disaster.
Right.
Or, like, occasionally I think you had one that it's like basically Bonnie and Clyde met each other again.
Yeah, that was really cute.
Like, what it adds up to is like, yeah, y'all have great relationship. You're gonna die.
Right.
You will destroy each other, but it'll be a great relationship.
Right.
Like, this is the definition of toxic.
Right.
But you'll have a great time.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, we've had those, but then ours, it's like, ooh, okay. Like, ours takes explanation.
Well, that, and you have to go beyond the basic.
True.
Like, you have to compare exactly how one works with the other.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we should also point out, if you're having a lot of fun watching this, now that we finally got the charts run,
Right.
yeah, like, he teaches a class.
I do, and you can actually take it for $19.95 right now over a Modern Spiritual.
It is the cheapest you can get an Aeson astrology class.
Yes, and that's on replay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in person and live cost extra.
Right.
But it is a taped live class.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you get to ask him questions, like you can email him, and
yeah, works really well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying. Might as well plug the things you're doing.
Right. You know, and I will have an update on a new class coming.
Yes. What else you going and finding?
Well, I was getting my relationship advice because it's time to find out if you're the asshole.
Oh, okay. So you want me to launch right into it?
Uh-huh.
All right. Am I the asshole for reminding my grandpa he lives under my mom's roof and not the other way around? My mom, 37 female, and I, 16 male, have always had a pretty healthy relationship. My parents had me fairly young, so I guess that helped them remember how being a teen feels like. And for all my life, they have always been very open to talk to me about everything. Because of that, I never felt the need to lie to them, even when I fucked up. I knew I could count on them to help me sort my shit out, although that help would occasionally come with some deserved yelling and growling. But the dynamic at my house started to change a bit ever since my dad passed away in March. My maternal grandpa, whom has been retired, moved in with us. My mom used to send him money because his retirement was not enough. But since our home became a single income household, she figured it would be more financially sound if he came to our house instead of her trying to feed two homes with a single salary. My grandpa, 72 male, is nothing like my parents. He is very controlling, he likes to know my every move, and he insists on making decisions based on how he feels. He babies me, berates me for doing stuff that every teenager does, like being sexually active with my boyfriend, for example. My mom and I have both tried talking to him about respecting my boundaries and understanding that in our home, we trust and respect each other. But he refuses to listen and says that my mom doesn't know anything about parenting, while continuing to give unsolicited opinions about my life. Things got really bad yesterday when I told them I was going to sleep over at my boyfriend's that night. My mom just said, okay, let me know when you get there. Not that she doesn't care about me, but it's just that she knows my boyfriend since we were in middle school. She knows his parents. She knows where the house is. And most importantly, she trusts me. But my grandpa decided to throw a tantrum and berate me for disrespecting family values and acting like a man slut. He said that while my junkie dad might have allowed me to be a boy prostitute who let other men emasculate me, this behavior would not be tolerated under his roof. I lost my temper and asked sarcastically, "What roof? You don't have one." Then I told him it was bold of him to talk about things that are emasculating because I couldn't think of anything more emasculating than being a grumpy old man who has to live off his only daughter and who tries to undermine her authority just to feel like he is in charge, even though he knows deep down that none of us actually care about what he has to say. Ever since that confrontation, he has stopped talking to me. I ended up not going to my boyfriend's because of something unrelated that happened at his house, and things just feel very tense around here. My mom says she understands where I come from, but thinks I went too far and deeply hurt my grandpa's feelings. But I think it was about time he heard something like that. Am I the asshole? Yeah, that was my reaction. Is I'm sitting here and part of me I don't know. I don't know where to start, and I don't know where to
I'm adding another option to the poll.
Am I the asshole? You're not the ass, or you are the asshole. You're not the asshole, and everyone's shitty here.
Yep.
So if you haven't voted yet, he's adding an item.
Yep.
All right. So I mean, there's just so much going on here.
Yep.
Here's the deal, though. At the end of the day, I think you reasonably lost your temper.
Right.
And I think given what he's said and done,
yeah,
that's my reasonable. Like, you reasonably lashed out.
Mm-hmm.
But your mother is 100% correct. Yeah, you cut him to his core. It's not that he doesn't know this. Like, he knows all this. Like, that's the unfortunate, ugly side of getting older and becoming dependent. Is it's like, for men especially, it is emasculating. It is humiliating. It is infuriating. It is a struggle. Like, being dependent is a struggle. Like, I think that's one of the missing components. Now, for caregivers, that's part of the unspoken part of caregiving, is trying to work around that and not throw it in their face. Because that's usually the beginning of resentment. Well, it sounds like you arrived there. Like, you're resenting the whole situation. Again, given what he's done, reasonably so. It's not unreasonable. Your reaction was not unreasonable. Your hurt feelings are not unreasonable. His behavior is sadly common. And I really just end up feeling really bad for your mom. Mostly because it sounds like you are well capable of defending yourself. You are very much capable of, taking the crap he says and putting it in the trash where it belongs. But your mom's stuck. With, like, an impossible choice and an impossible situation with the two of you at all.
See, and here's why I had to add two more options. I think there is a little bit, we have to give Grandpa props for the adaptation to a relationship status he's probably not used to. So we'll give him cookies for that. But calling your grandson a whore and a prostitute, there feels like there's some depravity there.
Well, and referring to one's father as a junkie dad, and berating someone for disrespecting family values.
Yeah.
That's a lot to pack into, like that was
Right.
a loaded series of statements.
Right.
Like that was meant to incite a response
Right.
that was gonna be ugly.
Right.
Like that was full 1812 overture unload.
Yeah.
There needed to just be fireworks.
Well, and I think that, but I think that there's been a lot of grief going on here. We have multiple phases of grief. We have the loss of a father, a husband, a son-in-law. We have the loss of a livelihood. And I'm talking about the grandfather's livelihood and everything. And all of that's being packed into having a teenage son and slash grandson that's basically a mini adult in a world that you would never think existed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and that's from the perspective of being a 72-year-old man who grew up in a world in which, people like his grandson,
right,
were pretty much shunned and shut out of the bigger whole of society.
Right.
Like that's what he grew up with.
Right.
I don't know that I can really say that he's adapted to it.
Right.
As much as like he exists in it.
Right.
And it doesn't sound like has been quite as horrible before now.
Right. But and this is what I always weigh this against. Okay, always weigh this against what would he have said to his granddaughter. And it seems to be equal.
Okay.
If, she was going to go stay at her boyfriend's house, the insultment would incur there.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't give that one a problem.
Okay. I can go there.
Right.
Oh, Shannon's. Oh. Okay. Shannon saw a good TikTok. Had to share.
Okay.
All right, we'll check it.
We'll check it when we get there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, like the granddaughter equivalent.
Right. So I have to give him props for equally being a bastard. Sorry, that's the way I call it.
In your bastardness.
Yes. So there's multiple layers there on. Can we just call a therapist in like pronto?
Like I'm not opposed to that. As in, really, the whole thing is it's not even about who's the asshole. I don't think.
Right.
I think it's shot so far past being the asshole because I really don't think I struggle to say these words. I don't really, truly, honestly, 100% believe that anyone here is the asshole.
Right.
Exactly. I think this is like in a lot of people, a lot of millennials, because that's where mom is. She's millennial. Are starting to get slammed.
Right.
With the older parent with a teenager household combo.
Right. And I think there should have been a conversation. A long conversation before he moved in of this is how this works.
This is my house and these are my rules, and if you're going to live under my roof.
No,
I'm sorry, but basically,
yeah. Well, it's like, and we've had and it's more so. This is how this house works, and we have had this conversation with multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
This is how this house works. This is what goes on here. This is how this is run. If you don't like it, well, bye.
Yeah, like we'll save you the trouble of having to figure it out and get ticked off or annoyed or frustrated or embarrassed or whatever.
Right.
Like, here's the deal. And if that's not kosher for you, then you probably don't want to stay here for a long amount of time.
Right.
More than a few minutes.
Yes.
Or game night. But but I still think that it goes a little beyond that. Is
right.
Even if she had that, like we're dealing with 3 very different generations.
Right.
And I do have to say, like, generationally, like if you go with like consensus of generations,
mm-hmm.
and kind of where they're at, these are 3 very different generations. Like they are like, oh my God, oil, water, and vinegar. Okay.
Right.
Like it's
but
just
like
layered.
There should have been a conversation with mom to dad / grandpa. I control the parenting. If you have an opinion, you bring it to me. You do not say it to my son.
Right. Which, again, all this sounds reasonable. And I think the biggest problem here is even though he has like equality in his bastardness,
right.
I think that's also part of the continuating problem is because when you're talking generationally,
right.
He's sitting over here and like the expectations for a man of his age were basically go get a job, be the breadwinner,
right,
be responsible for everything, take care of everyone, father knows best,
right,
you're in charge.
Right.
And that part of his life, like his ability to do that has eroded.
Right.
As he has moved into this situation, but it's all he knows generationally.
Right, but I think the other side of that is he's looking for a place to have the responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think there's some dysfunction here in terms of like you've left this poor man to his own devices.
Right. So he's looking for what he's supposed to be handling.
What's he in charge of? What's he responsible for? What's he doing? How's he taking care of you guys? What is he contributing?
Yeah. Right. The 16-year-old has a job. Mom has a job. Granddad's retired. What's his responsibilities? Like, everyone has to compatible into a household. So he's took the authority of CEO, and it's like, no, you're not CEO. That's mom's job.
Yeah. It's like we hired, like Grandpa, we hired a Walmart greeter. You can't be Sam Walton.
Right.
You can't, like, position's already filled, dude.
Yeah.
So we need you to go stand by the door.
Right.
Just go stand by the door.
Right. All right. So the poll is up. There are 4 choices. 2 of them are not our normal choices. One is the all need help, and the other one is everyone is shitty. Let's move over and take on this relationship advice question.
Okay. Hired a housekeeper looking for genuine feedback on the situation. I, 34 female, and my husband, 36 male, have been at odds about household stuff for seemingly forever. I would love some unbiased feedback about our situation and what I'm struggling with. Some important information. I'm incredibly privileged to work from home, and aside from that, I have a food truck I run a few days a week for a few hours here and there, usually by myself. He works rotating shift work and will be working anywhere between 40 to 55 hours a week. His job involves fairly little physical energy. Most of the energy spent is walking from one place to another. Aside from that, he sits by a phone. It's absolutely still work and can be tiresome, especially on rotating shift work. So I assure you, I don't mean to downplay or belittle the work he does. All that being said, about 90% of housework falls on me. He will occasionally do the dishes and cook dinner. Aside from that, everything is on me unless I ask him if I ask him to, say, take the trash out, then 50% of the time he will. He is undiagnosed ADHD, ASD, and I try to be mindful of that when it comes to him remembering to do things I ask. I have told him countless times I need help, and he listens, but nothing comes of it other than maybe picking up the vacuum to go over a rug once. The final straw was on Mother's Day. I put a load of towels in the washer, and he promptly said, "It's Mother's Day. You shouldn't be doing that." I knew if I didn't do it today, I would have to do it tomorrow anyway. So I didn't think twice about it. I took the opportunity to prove a point, though. I started the wash and decided I wouldn't do the towels anymore, other than my own, which I started washing separately after this. Mother's Day was May 14th, and it's now July 25th. Now, given I rewashed the towels multiple times because they stank, but when he needed to do his laundry, they made it to and out of the dryer into the laundry basket and left the laundry room. I moved them from the laundry room after a few weeks and put them in the middle of our bedroom. Literally, we had to walk around them, and it was right in front of our dresser TV. They stayed there until the middle of June when we had guests, and I didn't have a choice but to fold them and put them away. So from the middle of June until a week ago, the towels went unwashed. He decided to wash his own towel with his laundry to avoid doing them. I assume, or at least I hope, just as I had been. Finally, I'd mentioned that I hadn't washed a load of towels since Mother's Day when I was told I shouldn't do that, and that they were piling up, so he washed them. One of the kids did their laundry and dried them and put them back in the laundry basket in the laundry room. There they sat until the subject of grocery shopping came up today and how I forgot to get something. So I said, "Be careful, or I'll pass grocery shopping off to you and you won't notice until we all starve." Kind of like you don't notice a load of towels that I passed on to you over 2 months ago that are still sitting in the laundry room as we speak. During this time, I hired a housekeeper to come once a week because, as I said to him before, I need help. When I work, it's hard work. I have stage 3 endometriosis. I take care of 2 kids. To be fair, they are teenagers, so it's truly not much, but everything for school and their life in general falls on me. 4 animals, and we have chickens. It's a lot. Having someone help without having to ask has been life-changing, and it's honestly saved me from the severe resentment towards him I have almost every time I clean anything. He is not happy about the housekeeper, but he hasn't even asked why I felt the need to hire one. I assume it's because he knows the answer and doesn't want to hear it, but he is unhappy about it nonetheless. I pay her $100 a week, and I took that money from a car we were paying double on every month to pay down faster. He doesn't like that I hired the housekeeper and feels like he is tricked when I purposefully stop doing things to see how long it takes him to do anything that obviously needs done, something he oftentimes gets mad at our kids for, not helping with things that obviously need to be done, which I find ironic. To address the ADHD, ASD comment I made earlier, I know and understand this can be a factor in why he handles these things the way he does. I have, however, asked him to seek a diagnosis and get the appropriate help he needs to address those things. He has no desire to do so, and it's not my place to tell him how he should manage his body. Basically, I'm wondering if leaving the towels for 2 months to see how long it took him to realize, even though he never did, I just finally cracked twice, was mean, and if hiring a housekeeper without his input was disrespectful. I'm honestly not sure what else I can do to get the point across without having hard, irrefutable evidence that there is a clear lack of helping with things around the house that need to be taken care of. It's like he just mentally ignores it all because it is, to him, my responsibility. I feel like a maid in my own home.
Point blank.
Oh, buckle up, Buttercup. This one's going to be interesting.
Point blank, you made the right choice. Because here's the bad factors. And this is what I call small house economy. He's working 55 hours a week. That's 15 hours more over a standard worker. Okay, that's 15 hours. That's part-time. Then we have you that apparently has 2 jobs, work from home and a food truck. I'm sure you're putting in more than 40 hours. When you create a deficit of the time you have within your life to create life, you have to hire out. You outsource like the best CEOs around.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And frankly, you took the money out of accelerated debt repayment. So
Right.
I don't, like, is that the greatest thing in the world? Yeah. Is it the worst thing in the world? No.
Well, here's the question. Which would be better? To possibly add an extra day at the food truck, one of you two get a raise, use your golden paychecks, whatever, to pay down that debt, or live in a dirty house, have the house condemned, and have to have it burned over.
Well, and more importantly, get to the point where, one, you're already at, which is you resent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, flat out, you're there. And two, it just digs deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And turns it into everything.
Right.
Which, again, she's there.
Yeah.
So at some point, but I think the bigger issue is that he now resents the housekeeper and the fact they're not accelerating debt, or debt payoff, excuse me.
Right.
And it's like, dude, do you need a diagram?
Well, this is an easy fix. We can fire the housekeeper and you can do the to-do list and we can save the $100. Oh, you can't do that because you don't have time? We'll keep in the housekeeper. And this is the conversation we've made. Of course, Mama Knight's cleaning services is wonderful. But before that, we had a housekeeper. When my work increases beyond the reasonable amount, I think that I can manage the house, and your work is above the reasonable amount that you can manage the house, and then we have the invisible who technically puts on more work than the 40-hour lifespan. When we add up all the math, we're missing 2 humans, so we got to hire one. $100 a week, that's a steal.
Yeah,
for a professional housekeeper.
No. Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, so sometimes you just have to, suck it up, buttercup. Right. Like, this is what you need. This is self-care at this point. Right. Whether your husband likes it or not, it's self-care.
Yes. So the advice is bring the housekeeper in an additional day if he complains.
Basically.
Yeah. All right, so let's
definitely make sure she does the towels.
Yes, God. Can you imagine leaving towels for 2 months? All right, so the poll, we're calling it. It is 100%. All of y'all need some help. Call the therapist, not the psychic.
Fair enough.
All right. So, guys, we are approaching the end of July. My classes over on Modern Spiritual are on sale for $19.95. They are video classes. You do have email correspondences with me. We have this week Coffee and Tea with Nat, I believe, is coming to talk with me on Thursday at 8 p.m. We have Mountain Bears on Friday, and then we have the energy overview on Saturday at 8 p.m. because Psychic Saturday is coming. You might want to book your appointments early because the appointments are limited. Yes. So with that, we'll pop over to Vanna. Hello, Vanna. How are you, darling? Looking blonder than ever at 60.
And so, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yep. All right, guys, you have a great night, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.